More breaking news out of Tuscaloosa. Another signee on National Signing Day 2022. Dylan Lonergan, another talented quarterback out of this 2023 class. His recruitment came down to Stanford, Alabama, South Carolina in that top three. He ultimately chooses Alabama. That was back in July of this year, now signing his letter of intent. Another quarterback to join along here with Eli Holstein. Talk about his recruitment and what he's going to mean to this class.
Well, I think it says a lot about him to commit to a program that already had a quarterback commitment because you don't see that too often. Most of the time when you see, somebody already, jump on board, it's pretty tough for Alabama to get, or any program to get two quarterbacks. We saw that back in 2017 when Alabama landed Tua plus Mac Jones. So that worked out pretty well for Alabama. And I'm sure they're hoping that that's going to be, something similar. Of course, you never know with this day and age how things may go. But, Dylan's one of these guys who is not only a great football player, but he's also an outstanding baseball player. And he's going to have an opportunity to also play baseball in Tuscaloosa. That's his plan right now, is to play both sports. He ended up having turf toe surgery towards the end of his season. So may end up enrolling early, still trying to decide if he's going to do that or not. But this is, certainly a guy that can come in and compete. He's a great athlete. He's a little bit shorter than Eli Holstein. I think he's around 6'1.5", about 220 pounds. Was named the Gwinnett County Quarterback of the Year, for his performance during his during his senior season. But there was one game he threw for over 400 yards, and you see there on his film. I mean, he's also a guy that's a dual threat. I mean, he's an athlete, but he likes to stay in the pocket. He's not going to run too much, but he's definitely a guy that Alabama really wanted. It's kind of interesting when you are recruiting quarterbacks because you've got your guys. You got Eli Holstein, Dylan Lonergan, Arch Manning. These were the guys that we talked about for about 6 months as far as, which one was Alabama going to end up signing or getting a commitment from. And Eli Holstein was the first to jump on board. Arch Manning was still out there. Dylan Lonergan was also still out there. And then Eli commits. About a week later, Dylan decides to take an official visit. I talked to Dylan a few days ago, and he told me, he said, I had no interest in going to Alabama after Eli committed. But then I took my official visit, and the official visit kind of changed everything because Alabama told me, they said, the quarterback room is not very deep. When Bryce leaves, you got obviously Eli Holstein coming in. You've got Ty Simpson, Jalen Milroe, but that's really it. And, the room's going to be pretty bare. The competition is going to be wide open. Why not come here? And, I think that's what, really sold them on Alabama is, there was an opportunity there to come in, compete. There's not an established starter there. And, it really just didn't matter to him. So in the end, he ends up committing to Alabama over Stanford. Stanford was, in my opinion, in a really good position with him. South Carolina also did a really good job recruiting him, but I think they ended up getting a quarterback commitment about a week or so before Dylan made that decision. So I think in the end, it came down to Alabama and Stanford for him. Felt a lot more comfortable in Tuscaloosa, just the development factor. And I think also seeing the fact that two quarterbacks have signed at Alabama in the past in the same class and gone on to do great things. So really intrigued to see how Dylan ends up developing over the course of the next couple of years and seeing how he performs in Tuscaloosa.
I've out of Snellville, Georgia, the number 10 player in the state of Georgia, the number 11 quarterback in the class. And like you said, we're talking about three quarterbacks early on in this class. Alabama able to land 2 out of 3. And Alabama with quite the pitch there as well, saying it's somewhat of a bare quarterback room. What do you see Dylan's role as this first year here? And where do you see him eventually? When will we get to see Dylan Lonergan play quarterback for Alabama?
Well, this is a competitor. This is a guy who, has played a lot of sports throughout his entire life, and he wants to be on the field. So he's going to come in with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because, he's not this incoming 5-star recruit, but he is an established great quarterback prospect. I mean, he's a high 4-star player. He's one of the top overall players in the state of Georgia. He's going to come in, with a chip on his shoulder, and I think that he's got a chance to really come in and compete. I think a lot really depends on, will he be there in the spring or will he be there in the summer? Baseball, obviously a big passion for him, something that he really loves. Is this going to be something that he's going to continue to play in Tuscaloosa? He might give it a go for 1 year, may end up deciding to stick to football, because I know playing at a high level in the SEC and for a national brand program like Alabama, it's a tough task to do two sports. So we'll see kind of how that all plays out. But yeah, I mean, I think with the quarterback competition kind of wide open, he's going to come in and push. The injury kind of sets him back a little bit because he's still recovering. It's about a 3 to 4 month recovery that he's in right now. So he's got to rehab, got to get better, got to get back to 100%. But he's going to have a chance. Will he play right away as a freshman? Yeah, I think that's probably a tall task, but he's going to come in and really compete and give that quarterback room some extra juice.
What a fun position this is going to be to follow over the next few seasons, as Dylan will be competing there. He signs with Alabama. Andrew Bone here breaking it all down for you guys. Follow him on Twitter at Andrew J. Bone, and be sure to check us out at BamaInsider.com. Don't forget, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and get in the comments as we take you through signing day 2022. Until next one, guys, roll Tide.